And welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I'm Michael DeLon. Today I'm talking with Mike Vannelli. Mike, thanks for spending some time with me.
Good to be here.
Well, it's going to be a great conversation. If you're listening to this, you're a business owner and you've probably tried to do some video marketing of some nature. And so that's what we're going to talk about today because Mike and his company, they help you create great video marketing that's fast, it's effective, it actually works, and it's super affordable. They've got a really neat model that we want to dive into. So as we get ready to dive into the deep end, Mike, tell me, how in the world did you get doing what you're doing today?
Sure. Yeah. Always been interested in getting into the film industry and getting into video. It's really hard to break in. Long time ago, I really wanted to, do something involving video, but I still wanted to make money doing it.
Always
Um,
helps.
with like film production, a lot of the time if you want to make movies or shorts, you have to put your own money in. I kind of wanted to make money. So I actually started out doing some music videos for kind of some local artists, and then worked my way up to some kind of big name artists. But then it was not a lot of the same stuff, but I just kind of wanted to see what else was out there. And so pretty much the only other kind of avenue I could go with where somebody would say, here's money, please make a video, was commercials. And so, started out kind of doing free ones or, very, very, just, enough to give my actor $20 for, helping me out.
Right.
Um, just to kind of get my feet wet and just to kind of see if there was anything there. And that was like 15 years ago, and just been doing it ever since.
Very cool. Very cool. So as we talk about this, so many times when we talk about video, we are talking about the owner, a spokesperson, or they're shooting a video on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube or Amazon or whatever. And you're kind of taking this different approach. You mentioned like a TV commercial where you've got
Hmm.
actors doing things and it really is more attention grabbing sometimes. Talk about the thought process behind what you do that's different than what we typically think of in video.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. There are a lot of business owners and people who work for companies making videos out there. They do an okay job, but they're not professionals. They're just kind of doing what works. Throw something against the wall, see if it sticks.
Yeah.
Because Envy's done so many, we've kind of got it down to a T. We know exactly what we're doing, and we've kind of made our production process not only really easy, really affordable, but also really quick. And we've been doing it for so long, we see what works and what doesn't. So pretty much, what we do is when we help clients, we have what we call our creative brief form. So it's about a 5-minute form that we've really honed, that really anybody can fill out. It's just kind of a basic survey. We
Mhm.
always tell clients, you know more about your product or your business than we do. So they fill that out, and really that gives us all that we need to be able to build a script and a concept and to make their video. Um, Sometimes, they say kind of like, is that all you need? And, we say, we've been doing it long enough. Believe me, this is all we need. The more info, the better, but these are the basics of what we need.
Very cool. So a really quick form. So talk. Just walk us through the process because this is. I've always. I was in radio sales for a long time, right? And then
Okay.
the everybody would want to do cable or news, right? And that's a high production. They would bring the trucks and the cameras and the makeup and everything, and it was this big production, and it scared the daylights out of clients, right?
Sure.
You've kind of taken all that out of the way. So explain a little bit more about so somebody fills out this form, this 5-minute form, what's going to happen and how fast?
Yeah. We do I would say like 95% of our client or of our orders we do through a platform called Fiverr.
Hmm.
If you haven't heard of it, it's really neat
Yep.
platform. But we've just found that when we used to kind of do it off there and on there. Just having everything, kind of all of our orders in our queue, kind of makes it easier just in one place. But so pretty much what we do is we, the client gets in touch with us. They kind of just tell us what they're looking for, what they need. We give them a little bit of advice. So say if they're saying, we're looking for, a commercial for our homepage or our YouTube, but we're also looking to get on TikTok. We might say, okay, well, let's make a horizontal landscape commercial, but let's also, do a vertical version of that so you can
Hmm.
have something for TikTok. So once they're ready to go, we just, send them a quote. Um, I think our most affordable service starts at $150,
Yeah.
and that's what we do for product video pages. So, for
Hmm.
Amazon or Walmart, when you see a video and you click on it, it's just very basic, but it's
Right.
still, really good, shows off the product, and it's very professional setup. So we send them the quote, and then when they place the order, they fill out the creative brief form like we just talked about. And then once we have that, we say, it takes us about a week to send them the script. We do the script writing in-house. We've made thousands of scripts, so we're, the work process is pretty easy on our
Yeah.
end. When it comes to, the writing and what we need. We send them the script. They either give us approval or they let us know if there's any changes that need to be done. Just because we just tell them, like, hey, we just want to make sure there aren't any surprises once we go to film and once we deliver. We want you to
Yeah.
know exactly what you're getting. And then, yeah, we move into production. For people who are watching the video, you can kind of see behind me. These are our standing sets. We have like
Yeah.
a cafe set over there. We have like an office set back there, and then behind there, this is like front door, and then our house sets behind there. So pretty much, we're able to do kind of a really high bandwidth of projects, but also a quick turnaround. So the longest lead time on a project is 30 days, and that's from
Hmm.
placing the order. So it's like, 30 days later, you have, you know, whatever videos you wanted within that order. So we say, if you want 10 videos in an order, then make sure it's all included in one order, because then we'll be delivering all 10 at
All
once,
10.
that 30-day mark. But yeah, so we have all of our standing sets. We own all of our own equipment. We have a roster of actors who are employees, so they're not just gig workers. And we kind of hone those over the years. So when we use different actors, if we like them a lot and we feel like they're pretty versatile, we'll ask them if they want to join the team. And so really, we don't have to, we rarely have to leave the studio for filming, even
Hmm.
on sets that, look like public locations or,
Right.
businesses. We don't really have to rent any equipment. We don't have to do really any casting. And we're in the Los Angeles area. So obviously, we tell people that if they have any very specific things or they need anything really big, sky's the limit. We have lots of resources.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we deliver them the finished content, and then if they need any changes, we can work with them on making that. But I would say more than 50% of the time they just say great job right off the bat.
Yep, that's awesome. And one of the things that you guys do a little bit differently than a lot of the videos I see is the entertainment value.
Hmm.
And talk about that because I know in marketing, we're always talking about entertainment, and you can't. Nobody, people are not interested in just more information because we can get that on Google or whatever. But they want to be engaged in a lot of your videos and your vignettes and different things. Do just that. They draw us in to make a point. Talk about the importance of that, I guess, in creating these videos.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, with so many videos out there online now, it's really important to grab the attention of the viewer and also keep them watching. But, to be able to keep them watching, they need to be entertained.
Yeah.
Even in our creative brief form, we have when people are submitting what tone of video that they want, I
Hmm.
think we have three different comedic tones that they can choose from. It's like one is weird, one is, kind of just quirky. And then I think we only have one choice that's like serious.
Hmm.
And, normally people don't choose that because we also have another one called professional and then in parentheses with humor.
Right.
So it's like 80% professional with little, little jokes just
Right.
to keep them going. And a lot of the time, especially for businesses and things like that, they choose the professional with humor because, they don't want to come across unprofessional, but
Right.
they still want to get people, maybe give a smile while they're watching it.
Absolutely. That's really a
And,
good point.
that's that not only keeps them watching, but it also keeps it memorable, if they heard a joke they like or they just enjoyed the video in general, it'll make them coming back to, whoever the business is it's for.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good. So you can kind of custom tailor at some level. You got some options for business owners, and the cool thing is it's virtually a done for you system.
Hmm.
Is a business owner comes in there, they sign up, they buy it, they submit the little 10 questions or 5-minute questionnaire survey, and then you're going to come back in a few days with a script that they get to review, make changes or whatever, and then you come back within the next week or two or three with the finished the finished product, but the first version, I guess, because does a client get to see it and go, oh no, that's not it, or how does that work? Because that's a
I Yeah, I mean, we pretty much tell them that when we're delivering the final project, that, they can let us know if they need any edits or anything
okay,
else. We pretty much tell them that if we can do it in editing or, like voiceover or
versus yeah,
graphics or if we missed something that was in the script, then, we can do the
sure,
revisions, no problem, free of charge. But if they come back and they say, "Oh, we actually wanted this new scene, or
right, yeah,
we wanted this or that," then we just explain to them like, "Hey, we do have to charge for that because we're
yeah,
bringing the actors back in, we're bringing everybody back in. It wasn't on the approved script."
right,
So we always tell them like the reason why the script writing process is so important is just so that, and we
right,
need approval before we move forward, is just
exactly,
so that you know exactly what you're getting. So, 90% of the time, it's not a problem.
right,
But, that last 10% of the time, there are times where clients say, like, oh, after seeing it, maybe we would rather have it, the location take place outside rather than in an office. Then, it's no problem. We can do it. We just tell
right.
them, it it is
Another
outside
shoe.
the original
That's
scope, so
right.
we do have to charge for that. But,
Yeah.
normally not a problem.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you guys have been doing this for so long. It really you've got this thing kind of dialed in
Yep.
to take video. And when you think video, think TV commercial. That I guess that's the
Mhm.
closest thing. You said that earlier, and that's really the way that people need to frame it if they're just listening to the podcast, not watching it. But really just go to your website, I think, is a really good way because you've got lots of samples there to go, oh, this is what it is. And it really brings in the creativity of how are you going to communicate a message,
Right.
right? And so many times as business owners, we get tunnel vision that we communicate our message in one way, and you and your team may find a very cool, different way to communicate that same message using this approach.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We a couple years ago, when TikTok was really blowing up, you see pretty much every other video is a sponsored video, with the person just, talking, holding their phone and we've actually found, at least in the last year, that a lot of clients have been coming to us saying that they got stuff like that done and they kind of continued to getting that done, but it's not really converting as well anymore
Yeah,
because everybody's doing it. And so they pretty much told us that if they're going to be paying for a video, they would rather it be creative, they would rather
right,
it be, more commercial than, just somebody holding their phone up to there.
right.
And yeah, we even have again, kind of going back to our creative brief because
Yeah,
that's like our all-encompassing thing is we even have on there a line that asks the owner, the business owner, what's the takeaway that you want what if you only had one thing that you would want the viewer of the video to take away, what is it?
yeah,
Just give us one thing because it not only helps us to get that across, but it also kind of helps the business owner start to think,
right,
in their head, oh,
hmm,
what is the one thing?
right,
Do I want them to place an order? Do I want them to learn more? Do I want them to download the app? Do I just
yeah.
want them to remember our brand, just brand awareness in general? So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that creative brief is going to help them clarify. It's going to give you direction so that what you produce for them is spot on so that they can
Exactly.
use it and actually get results, which is the
Hmm.
biggest thing is the effective aspect because you know as well as I do, there are so many videos online that people are just scrolling right past because they're just the same old, same old. They're boring. They're not thought of. There's no creativity. You guys have flipped that on edge and have made it super affordable for business owners to really play a different game in the video world. I mean, I got so many questions. We could talk for hours on this. This is really cool. What's the best thing for one of my listeners to do to find out more about you guys and to, yeah, take a step in your direction to go, okay, tell me a little bit more about all of this video marketing thing. Where would they go?
Sure. So they would just go to our website, thinkenvy.com. So that's THINKENVY.com. Or they can just Google Envy Creative and we're just all over the front page pretty much. So,
Okay.
and yeah, all, they can see all of our videos. They can kind of see, the pricing for all the, different video services we have. We only have 4 video services. So it's really easy
Really simple.
to see. And, yeah, you can just kind of learn more about kind of, what others might do versus what you get with us. We were kind of playing around with the phrase, there's like software as a service, so we kind of do video as a service.
I like it. Yeah. And it is super affordable. I mean, the low end was like 125 or so. The high end was like, I don't know, $500 or $600 maybe. So, but go on there and it's not when you think video, so many times you got video production, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be $5,000 or $6,000. It is not
Yeah.
that. You've got great quality, good creativity, and deliverability that's very fast to help your business grow. So go check them out. I'm going to have that website, thinkenvy.com, in the show notes. And just, yeah, check them out. Find out what they're doing, how you might be able to deploy this, and have those conversations about how to use video to make it fast and affordable and very effective for your business. Mike, thank you for being here. This is really cool. What a great idea. You've been doing it for a long time. I love that you're not just some startup somewhere. You're in the States, you're knocking it out, and you're helping a lot of business owners. So thanks for doing what you do, man.
Yeah, yeah, we're happy to help.
Awesome. Thanks for listening to Experts Speak. Tune in again next week for another great episode. Take care. God bless.